Hello everyone. Welcome to day 56 of learning data science. And basically, what we discussed in yesterday class, what all things we covered was we discussed about the binning, fixed with binning, adaptive binning. We discussed all those things, right? So today, we will be going to implement it through a code, right? So what I will be doing, I will be simply opening my Spider here. Okay. And again, why Spider? Why I suggest Spider? Because it's a beginner friendly tool. And if you are a beginner watching this video, so obviously you should use Spider. And why to use it? Because it provides various features are there. Again, it's up to you. You can use either PyCharm, VS Code. There are various IDs pertaining when we are using Python, right? When we are learning Python. But I suggest VS Code. Why VS Code? Because sorry, I suggest Spider. Why Spider? Because for beginner purpose, for friendly, it's beginner friendly tool here, right? So for that particular thing, I suggest you guys to use Spider, right? So I will just run this line of code and you can see here, basically I'm importing my Walmart CSV here, okay? And I am storing it into a data frame called DF, right? So basically, if you could remember in yesterday's session, we talked about discretization binary category. Basically, what do you mean by discretization? Okay, so basically, discretization, we are converting numerical data into categorical data. And again, there are various steps related to that. Okay, there are five things. It's like binarization is there, and upon what do you mean by binarization? When we are converting it into two categories, then we call is a binarization by the name itself. Okay. We also discussed about rounding. Also discussed about binning, and again in binning, fixed with binning was there, adaptive binning was there. Why, when to use fixed with binning? What do you understand by fixed with binning? Right. So these all things we discussed yesterday itself. Right. So now today we will be going to implement those things through a code. Right. So how are we gonna do that? So just watch here. Okay, what we are going to do, we are going to linearization. Let me increase the font. Okay, which column we are going to binarize? So basically, which was that column? Okay, weekly cells. Okay, so the column name was weekly cells. By the name itself, you can check here. It's weekly cells here. So we are binarizing the weekly cells into two categories. And again, what are those two categories? Again, it will be in low and high based upon custom binning. Okay, so we are going to perform this. So first, what I will do, I will use create another data frame known as D, and here I will write it weekly sales new. Okay, weekly sales new, and we are importing a function within pandas pd.cut. Okay, so why do we use this function to cut our values according to our needs, right? By the name itself, you can understand. Okay. So it's weekly sales, and I want to use this. I will write here weekly sales, and in comma, I will use here. Basically, I am creating here bins. Okay. So according to our ease, we are writing bin, and within bin, what we are going to take, we are going to take the minimum value of df dot weekly sales column, and what we are going to take, we are going to take df dot weekly sales dot mean. Okay. Weekly, I have to basically min close this column. Yeah. And put a comma here. And basically what we are doing, whenever we are cutting down the values, right? So the three values will be there. The top, the middle one, and the left. Okay. So from top till middle, one category will be there, and from middle till last, one category will be there. So for that reason, we are taking here three values. One is min, second is mean, and the third one is max. So from till mean, min till mean, one category will be there, and from mean till max, one category will be there. Okay. So I hope you have understood why I have taken here three values. Okay. Why I have taken here mean, why I have taken here minimum, and again I will write here maximum as well. So I will use the function called as max. Okay. And within that function, I will use my df dot weekly sales. Again, why weekly sales? Because this is the column upon which we are performing the certain operations. Okay. And I'll put a comma, and then what I will write, I will write here labels. Okay. So basically labels, it will be there, whatever label, if you want to write it. Okay. So I'm writing here low and high. Okay. So again, it's up to you. You can either write your name or according to the domain specific, right? I'm writing here low and high. Okay. So anything which is between min and minimum value, it will be as low, and anything which is between maximum and minimum value, that will be high. Okay. So where is that data? Hmm, data. Okay. Here basically, yeah. So if I will run this command, uh, it's got an unexpected keyword argument. Okay, what keyword argument? Mhm. Let me check it. It might be some keywords is being machine from here. Okay, so I will use my copilot. I will paste it. Let's see what listen to low and high, but there is a small hiccup in your code. The argument should be bins. Okay, okay, okay. Yeah, that only I told you. It might be some syntax error, right? So again, it will be bins. It is bins. Okay. And if we will run this particular line of code, then obviously you can see here in, if I will go in my variable explorer itself, okay, in df.weekly, if I will open this, If I will open this, okay, and you can see here, I have successfully created my low and high category. You can see here low and high category is there. High, low, high, low, high, low. Category has been already created in my weekly sales column, okay, and it's dependent upon weekly sales, okay. So if you want to count this value, if you want to count this value to check whether we have successfully executed or not, so what we'll be doing, we will be writing df dot weekly sales new column, and we will be writing here value, and basically my keyword doesn't work, some keys, okay, so I want to take this dash, okay, so I will write here value counts, counts function, I will use it, and you can see here low it's 3568, high it's 2880, okay. And if I will use the same function for counting my df weekly sales, then let's see what values we get. Basically, what we are doing now, we are comparing it and seeing that is it giving the same result or not. Okay. Length you can see here it's 6434. Okay. So basically here length is 6434. 6434. Okay. So why I'm writing this length? Because yeah, obviously I'm explaining it. So if we will count these two values, just try counting this value, okay? Just take a calculator again. Or what you can do, you can use Python as calculator as well. Okay. So you can write this plus you can write this. Okay. And try running this code. You can see here the value, the length, it came, the value, it came 6448. Okay. And here, if you could see it, the value is 6434. So why this thing is happening? Okay. It's happening because some of the values, it's like whenever we are using cut, okay, so we have to consider one thing, or we have to put a keyword here which is called as include. We have to put it here include lowest is equal lowest is equal to true. So basically we have to put this line under our this code. Then only you will see a slightly drop in this. Instead of 6448, it will be 6447. Okay, why? Because it's taking the lower value. Why it's happening? Why it's happening? Okay, so basically what it's doing, basically, this is because one value had become NA. And why this had become? Because because by default, the cut function does not consider the lowest minimum value, doesn't consider the lowest minimum value. So by default, the lowest function doesn't consider this minimum value. So for that reason, we will be using setting values count is equal to true. Okay. So how we gonna use it, right? Okay. So we will just copy the same text, the same syntax, or basically the same line of code. We're gonna copy it. Okay. And we want to paste it here. And what we'll be writing? We'll be writing include lowest is equal to true. Okay. We'll be writing include lowest is equal to true. So let's execute this. Okay. And now try running this code. Try running this code again. You will see you can see here the value as 3569 and 2880. It was initially 3568 and now it came 3569. So why it is there? It's for the same thing. Whenever we are using the cut function, it will not consider the lowest minimum value. It will set that value as NA. So for that particular reason, we will be including our lowest is equal to true so that it can take the lowest minimum value as well. Okay. So I hope you have understood this, and this is basically a complex, means like it will be quite difficult in understanding much of the things. So I hope you have understood this. And next, what we are going to do, we are going to discretize into multiple based on quantiles. Okay, so we are doing discretization. Okay, based upon quantiles. Okay, based upon quantile we'll be doing. So instead of mean, we will be writing here quantile. That's it. That only change will be there. Okay, so I'm pasting the thing. Okay, and here instead of mean, we will be dividing in quantile and again in minimum quantile. Minimum quantile is 0.25. D of those cells quantile. Okay, and here I will write it. Let me copy my zero because my zero key doesn't work in my keyboard. 0.25. Okay. So basically we are dividing it in terms of quantile. And again, this will not affect your set of data, right? So if I will print it, if I wanna do the value count of it, so just observe it. You can see here it's 4836 plus 1613. Okay. So if let's take a sum of it, 4836 plus, so if I will run this line of code, you can obviously see here it's 6449. Why 6449? Because I'm including my lowest is equal to 2. So every time the value will be same, it doesn't matter what bins you are taking it, right? the values will be same. The number of data which obviously it will be same. And again, why it will be there means like why the value is not matching with the weekly sales. So if you would observe that in particular weekly sales data, you can see here the NA values are there. So for that particular reason, some of the values are not counting it, right? If I will like, move this cell to the last, you can see here 6448, the value is there, right? You can see here 6448 value is there. Okay. And here also you can see if I will execute it, here also the value was initially 6448. 6448 was coming, but here 6449 is there. Why 6449 is there? Because it will not consider the lowest value. Lowest is equal to true, it will not consider it. So for that particular reason, we are using it. Why we are using it? Include lowest is equal to true, so that it can count the minimum values from where we are creating the bins or from where we are dividing the bins, right? So for that particular thing, it's coming the count at 6449. So I hope you have understood it, and we are basically stopping it here. And tomorrow, what we'll be doing, we'll be learning about encoding. And again, what is encoding? Uh, Basically, encoding is the opposite of discretization. Basically, we will be moving the categorical data into numerical data. Okay, so we're gonna understand that as well, and we're gonna understand it in detail in tomorrow. So till then, keep practicing it. See you tomorrow. Take care. Goodbye. Jai Hind.